You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Syracuse basketball shot 44% from the field. All right, that's okay. Only 4 of 13 from the three-point line, but where Syracuse really excelled on offense was the free throw line. As a team, they shot 91%. That is, in total, it was 20 of 22. So credit to Syracuse. JJ Starling, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. Eddie Lampkin, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. So they gave themselves a chance, but the defense was just so bad once again for Syracuse. Same thing basically as Miami. North Carolina hit a season high in three-pointers. They're not even a great three-point shooting team. They are bottom half in the ACC in three-point percentage. North Carolina hit 13 threes as a team. And it wasn't even RJ Davis doing most of the damage. I mean, he was only 3 of 9, had 16 points, 3 of 9 from three-point, I should say. Ian Jackson went off, 23 points, 5 of 10 from the three-point line. I mean, Syracuse basketball just didn't get the scouting report on him. I get that he hadn't hit a three in a couple of games, but he's still pretty good from beyond the arc. That's just the three-point defense that I'm talking about. And we also discussed Jaquan Carlos's attempt at defense on Elliot Cadeau at the end of the game. But I have plenty of more examples. I mean, I only pointed out 2, but there's so many more if you go back and watch this game. First example that I want to point out, there's 5 minutes left in the first half. And there were so many things that went wrong on this defensive possession for Syracuse basketball that I'm talking about. Once again, you can go back at the end. 5 minutes left in the first half, all right? Syracuse basketball, first of all, they leave RJ Davis, North Carolina's best player, wide open for a left wing three. That's already bad. You probably should not leave that guy wide open for a left wing three. But Syracuse gets a break. He misses the shot because sometimes even great players are going to miss open shots. It happens, right? So he misses the shot. Cool. Crisis averted. Nope. Crisis not averted because nobody decides to mark RJ Davis on the offensive rebound. Nobody. Chris Bell probably should have been the one to go after him and get the rebound for Syracuse, but he does not. RJ Davis, he gets his own miss. Still nobody's around him inside the paint. I don't know how. And he converts the easy floater, and it gives North Carolina a 28-19 lead with 5 minutes left in the first half. It actually capped off a 9-0 run for the Tar Heels. That defensive possession was just inexcusable. You had so many things go wrong on that one possession alone. You leave RJ Davis wide open for a left wing three. Can't do that. You don't box out RJ Davis. Can't do that. And then even when he gets his own rebound, nobody was there to even contest the shot. 1, 2, 3, eventually North Carolina is going to take advantage. The other example that I want to point out of more bad defense was with 5:31 left in the second half. This play drove me absolutely insane. And it's hard to pick on this player because I'm talking about Eddie Lampkin here, because Eddie Lampkin had 26 points and 11 rebounds. How much can you really complain about Eddie Lampkin? I mean, at least he was doing his thing offensively. But my goodness, he might score 26 points on offense, but he gives up all of them on the defensive end because this sequence I'm about to tell you all about was awful. Eddie Lampkin is in the paint, and he is in excellent position on defense. Now, there's a little bit of a mismatch. He's on a guard, Elliot Cadeau. Now, for some reason, before Elliot Cadeau picks up his dribble, Eddie Lampkin turns around to box out his man, which leaves Elliot Cadeau wide open for an easy shot inside the paint. I could not believe it. And I believe that has happened before, but it was the first time I definitively saw that happen, where Eddie Lampkin just turns his back before a player even picks up their dribble inside the paint. I appreciate that Eddie Lampkin wants to box out someone to get the defensive rebound. That's good. The problem is that that player, if the player doesn't pick up his dribble and nobody is there to help you out, you have to be on Elliot Cadeau in that situation. But he turns around, leaves Elliot Cadeau wide open, and of course, he makes the easy paint shot. Every Division I player is going to make that. And it makes it 75-68 UNC with 5:31 left in the second half. So those two examples that I pointed out, one was really on everyone, but also Chris Bell for not boxing out. And the other was on Eddie Lampkin. It's mid-February. These are mistakes that they can't happen at this point. They really can't, but they've happened all season long for Syracuse basketball on defense. I don't get it. I would love if you all who are watching or listening to this podcast can go back when you're done watching and listening and see those two plays that I was talking about. 5 minutes left in the first half, a bucket for North Carolina that makes it 28-19 dumb, and 5:31 left in the second half, a bucket that makes it 75-68. Go back and watch those clips. It's bad. And those are just two examples that I pointed out. That's it. That's only two. Trust me, there were plenty of others leaving guys wide open for three-pointers. I mean, hello, you want to guard Ian Jackson every once in a while? Funny enough, they actually decided to guard him at the end of the first half, and lo and behold, he shoots a three-pointer in the right corner that hits the side of the backboard. See what happens when you guard someone? They're just a poor defensive team, like really, really poor. And that's part of the reason why Syracuse basketball is in the state that it is in. It cannot play on defense, and they do not have enough offense to be able to overcome it. I brought up the example, I believe it was the year 1989, where they were not a good defensive team statistically, but guess what? They had 6 NBA players on the roster. You can overcome a poor defense with one of the best offenses in the country. Syracuse basketball cannot. It's as simple as that.